we'll get to this.
We are on the Festival Daily News. Daily Buzz. It's a Daily Buzz, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's Newsy Buzz.
Right. We're on the Festival Daily Buzz. We're at the Treasure Mountain Inn at Park City, talking about Sundance and Slam Dance films. I'm here with Angela Tabora from Bitch Talk. My name is John Wildman. I'm the editor-in-chief of filmsgonewild.com. And in this segment, we're going to talk about the Sundance film Smoke Sauna Sisterhood. I'm looking forward to talking about this film. We have the director, Anna Hintz, producer, Marianne Ostrat. Welcome to the show.
Hello, very nice to be here.
Okay, we're going to start this off. Anna, you're up to bat to tell our audience about the film. They haven't seen it just yet. Introduce us to Smoke Sauna Sisterhood.
So first of all, smoke sauna is not just a regular sauna that people usually know, but it is a very special place for us. It's this dark, safe space where women used to give birth, wash the dead, and heal whatever, mind and body. And so in our film, the women come to that dark, safe space and they wash off all the shame and fear and whatever trauma is there inside them, and they heal through the sisterhood, through the community who is supporting there around them. And my background is in the South Estonian smoke sauna culture. I come from that culture. And actually the film idea, I think, when I think about it, started when I was 11, and my grandfather had just died and his body was in the cottage, and we went to smoke sauna, me, my granny, my aunt, my niece, and in the smoke sauna there, first time ever, not before, not after, my granny told that grandfather actually had cheated on her, had lived with another woman, and she let all that anger and frustration and hurt out, made peace. We went out, we could bury our grandfather in peace. And then I remember that I understood that, okay, there is a safe space in this world where you can share whatever is there, where all emotions are allowed, and there is a way out, that actually you get out and you are more relieved and, you know, can smile, and like we did, we smiled and laughed afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Whew, okay, well, we're starting this off emotional. Thank you for sharing that really beautiful story. At the end of the film, you dedicate it to, in quotes, all my sisters, which I loved, because it is believable to me that these women were strangers and then went into this sauna. I don't know the story of it, because that's the quickness with which women can just become so intimate if the connection is there and they're in a safe space. So I am curious to know, what do you need to do to be able to enter the sauna? Are they strangers, or do you come as a family? Do you reserve it? Because I would like to go to the sauna as well.
And I invite you there. Like, it is totally possible. I think it comes from this connection. There is, of course, every family has a smoke sauna in the south, so that you can go there with your family. But not only. In our film also, there were women who did not know each other. Mm-hmm. But they connected, and this is the magic. Mm-hmm. You go to smoke sauna, one session lasts like 4 hours, and you share everything. You share everything, and that is something so beautiful and magical, what that safe space does. And I was just talking to the woman who is there throughout, like sauna keeper, throughout the film, and she was telling that, you know, it is like being in a mother's womb. Because we all, every human, it is beyond gender, we look for that warm place, you know, to be warm, to be heard, to be listened to be who we are. And smoke sauna is like that place. It's warm, it's dark, and when you have that support from others around, then you reconnect to that, what we all are looking for.
I had the thought, as I was watching the film, that I felt privileged. I felt privileged to be able to see it, and I would love for Marianne, I'd love for you to start with this, for both of you to talk about setting up the trust to bring your cameras in, and to film this, and to, because it is so openly raw emotionally, and it's so wonderful, but it's not like you just set up a tripod and things are just happening in front. It's shot in such a wonderfully intimate way as well, that I had the thought watching going, well, no, a lot of thought went into how to present this So it wasn't just, well, this story, this story, this story. We were there. We were allowed to be there. So Marianne, I would love for you to start off with this.
As I joined the project, I took the project over after its first producer passed. And when Anna invited me to take it over, then I had got this really strong vision of how actually a sisterhood will gather around Anna. It is already there, and now for the film it will activate even further. And I think it also starts with self-trust and maybe doing some things against the rules. For example, I didn't have very strict contracts with the characters straight on because it's not possible to do it. Nobody's gonna sign it. So we have to. That was trust. That they trust us and I trust them. That we will go this journey together and arrive somewhere. It also had a lot to do with team building. That was of course Anna who invited the cinematographer and sound recordist who are men. Who are non-threatening to the women and kind of testing it, that it actually works. The team who is in the sauna filming these women. And I think the trust between the characters and Anna was already there before.
That's incredibly surprising to me. I would have thought it would have been an all-female crew.
It was actually my first thought, of course, to get a female cinematographer. But this is another issue actually, that there are not so many in Estonia. You know, there are not so many. And I was trying first to get someone, but then I understood, because I'm very demanding in my visual language. My background is in photography, so finding that way, like how to tell the story through visual is important, and I just couldn't find a partner. And then I understood that, okay, I tried to go beyond gender, because it's like, okay, beyond gender, to the human being. And then Ants is my course mate from Film Academy, and I knew that, you know, he's very sensitive, and okay, let's try it out. And he immediately understood that what I wanted to, how I wanted to speak. And then we did test sauna, we did long test sauna to understand how is it, how do we all feel, the team and the women. And basically everyone was like totally forgetting it, like, is it male, is it female, is it non-binary? It became like beyond gender, like human touch, human connection. And that for me is actually really beautiful, that, you know, it goes beyond gender. And for me, sisterhood also goes beyond gender. I myself don't identify, I identify as non-binary. So for me, that is really about humans. But of course, I wish that there were more female cinematographers and you know, more females and non-binary and you know, not just, there's still male dominated a lot industry.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, this film and how we did it is sort of what feminism is, in my opinion. It's like, for me, the next level of feminism, just being unapologetically yourself and letting men in the team support your cause. And the guys we have in the team, the cinematographer, sound recordist, composer, sound designer, actually most of them, editors, have been just amazing. But Anna and me have been in the wheel in this journey in a way. And they are with us here in Sundance, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, I have to say, the way that this film was shot, the close-ups, the angles, the shadows of just skin and human form, on top of these stories that are truly horrific, some of the most painful stories that somebody can live through, really showed me that through our pain and our scars, that's what makes us beautiful. And watching this film made me feel beautiful. So I have to thank you for that. And was that because of some women not wanting to show their faces, maybe, so you focused more on the bodies? But because for me it just worked so much, the dichotomy of the beauty of just human flesh with the pain of these stories.
It's very good to hear, for me to hear what you say, because that was also intention, you know. First of all, who shows the face and who not. I let it totally to the women to decide, because at first I thought that, okay, no one has face, because they didn't want to have face. But then some women, throughout the process, because it took 7 years, they grew, like, you know, like the main subject, or how do you call it in English, the woman who is there, the sauna keeper. So she actually today morning told me that, you know what, I understood in the process that we have to face our traumas. Like her traumas from her mom are connected to the thing that her mom did not have that power, courage or support to face the traumas. So she was like, I want to face the traumas with my face. So she was there, and she has encouraged so many others. But then there are women who just felt like, I want to tell the story, but I don't want to have the face. And that shows also the society. The fact that there are just so few faces shows that we have still a long way to go. Mm-hmm. And then it was for me interesting, like, okay, but why do we think that we always need to see the face? You know, it's the body and embodiment, and like how to show the nakedness as something organic, something natural, not sexualized. And all, when you think about all the stories are connected to the experience of having a female body. Even me, I have the female body. And then you're already so determined having that female body in our society with the glances, you know, certain glances, mm-hmm. judgments on that body. Mm-hmm. And so how to, and at the same time, how to go beyond the body, pierce like through the body, you know, to the soul, you know, and so all these things, and then finding this language to speak about it, where maybe a shoulder is telling the story as emotionally it would be, or even more emotionally than an eyes I would be, you know, mm-hmm. eyes or face. So, mm-hmm. so for me that is excitement, like this embodiment. What do we embody? Or the memories, the traumas, the joys, everything is like in our body, and somehow being a female, or you know, this being born into that body is so much. I mean, it's itself sometimes a trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I have to say that, you know, when you have a film like this that has that kind of openness and that kind of sensitivity, that as a filmmaker you also can run the risk of, well, if jaded audiences, you know, are not immediately receptive to it, that they're going to miss out. But I think in this case, it's so artfully done and so wonderfully put together that that I think even the tougher, not easily accomplished people, I think you're going to get them too. I certainly hope so, because I really love this film. Again, the film is Smoke, Sauna, Sisterhood, documentary screening at Sundance. We've been talking with Anna Hintz. She's the director of the film. Marianne Ostrat, she's the producer. It's been really great talking to you about this film.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to just tell that, you know, I'm not afraid of being uncomfortable, or like I believe that art should not be scared of being uncomfortable. And always I look actually in films these moments when I'm uncomfortable, because then I understand, okay, that's something to ask the question. And you know, it is for me interesting that, you know, we as a society we have now started to talk about that we should share, but still we censor. Mm-hmm. But you know, I want, when it's a story about a rape, no, let her speak. Mm-hmm.